Why would a man pay for dates with a woman that he only met once or twice? Why? It used to be that the man was the primary earner in the country. Men were the breadwinners. The woman's role was to be a homemaker. And in relationships, the man would work, usually physical labor, it could be mental labor, in the factory, in the mine, on the farm, and he would bring home the money. In exchange, the woman would take care of the home. She would have children, nurse the children, wash the diapers. There were no cloth diapers. Cook the food. There was no takeout. Sew the clothes, mend the clothes, have sex with the man. The man was getting a lot for providing. His children were cared for, his home was cared for, his dick was cared for. And this was a very useful arrangement because it's really nice to be a stay-at-home mom and take care of the house, although it's challenging. You can really focus on that role. And the man could really focus on going out and earning money because he knew his home was cared for. The woman could care for the home knowing she was provided for. And I had a marriage like that, and it was very sweet. However, the world has been changing. The times when a man could graduate from high school and get a job in the factory and have health insurance for the whole family and a pension fund and buy a house with a stay-at-home wife and kids. Those days are long gone, you guys. Modern men are struggling financially. The number of men earning over $100,000 a year is either 5 or 10%. It's not that high, you guys. And women are now out earning men. More than half of Americans are one paycheck away from poverty, and the amount of credit card debt and student loan debt has been rising. The financial security of modern men is not good. Sure, there are a few who have money, but it's a very tiny percentage. The rest are doing it all on loans and credit. At the same time, women have become very loose with their sexuality, just hooking up with any old guy. So a man asking a woman on a date has every right to say, I don't have any more money than you do, so why should I pay? I don't know you, why should I pay? Is your company something I need to pay for? Because you're not fucking me. You're not my wife. You're not cooking for me. You're not cleaning for me. You're not making me dinners. You're not having sex with me. Why would I pay for you? And women who are entitled don't think about that. I'm going to say that women who expect a man to pay are like men who expect sex. To me, it's the same. Just like we as women get upset with the guys who want sex right away, men should, giving you guys permission, be upset with the woman who expects you to pay for all the dates. It's the same thing. We have historically exchanged sex for money in relationship. And I'm not saying this maybe often it was transactional, but there was often a friendship component and a love component and a romance component, right? And that we had roles, not that it was transactional, but we had roles. Like, I want to build a life with you, and I as the woman will do this by doing the more womanly things, by taking care of the home and the children, maybe working part-time too. And the man would show his affection by doing his masculine tasks of providing and earning. And they would have sex, and I'm going to assume the woman wants to have sex with this guy. Women like sex too. usually with the man that they love in a relationship. If I'm going to go totally traditional here. But modern women have become very entitled. People have become entitled. They want everything delivered today. They want, food delivered to their home. I'm guilty of that sometimes too. The convenience, the ease. And women have started using men the same way that men use women, treating them as objects. You owe me, I'm the woman, so you should pay for me. If I were a man, I would not want to pay for a woman unless she was my wife and we had those roles. Because why? I'm not a simp. I have value too. My masculine strength, my leadership, my company, my masculine company, if I'm a man, my humor, my experience, my company is worth as much as yours. Your feminine company is worth as much as my masculine company. So when we start talking about trading resources, and paying is me giving you part of my resources, what are you giving me? And I don't mean this in a transactional way. I'm talking about boundaries, because in a friendship with the same-sex person, we're a lot more aware of the equal part of it, the equal exchange. Like if I go out with a girlfriend, I'll pay for dinner and then you pay for dinner. We don't have this expectation of the man paying for the woman's company. I'm going to say to the ladies that want a man to pay for her company, my company is so valuable, you should take me on dates and pay for me. That's called being a prostitute. And there's nothing wrong with that. But let's just call it what it is. You're not looking for a relationship. You're looking for a transactionship. Because why would a man pay? Let's look at the man's point of view. This is very helpful. As a man, I would pay for a date with a woman that I don't know. Say I just met her once or twice. Or even if I've known her longer, I would pay. Well, if I already had feelings for her and I wanted to give her something out of appreciation for what we have together, that's different. But say I don't know this woman. It's the first date, second date, third date. I'm still trying to get to know her. Why would I pay? Okay, my company in and of itself has no value, so I must pay. Transactional or manipulative or wanting, that one would be simping. Low self-esteem. I'm so lucky to get her time. I need to pay or she won't go out with me. That's a low self-esteem man, and any woman with high self-esteem is going to get tired of him. The only women that will stay with him are women who are going to use him, and he's okay with that on some level. She's going to keep wanting him to buy her things. That is the simp. Simping. Second way I might pay is I'm a manipulator. I am going to pay for you. I'm going to play the game. I am going to make you feel like you owe me something. Or wrap you around my finger, pay for you, play you, get you back to my place, or get you back to your place. Take you home, come in, stick my dick in you. Just get my dick wet. I want to fuck you. So we have the simp and we have the manipulator. And then we have another version of the simp, which is the nice guy, the people pleaser, the inauthentic guy. I don't want to pay for her at all. I think she should pay for herself. I have so many bills to pay. I'm late on my student loans, or I'm trying to start a business, but I should pay. I should pay. I'm not even going to make a deal about it. I'm going to offer to pay, but I wish I didn't have to. This really sucks. He's doing it out of guilt or obligation. He's resentful. None of those are authentic, ladies, and you don't know which of these he's doing right off the bat. But one thing we can be sure of, there is no authentic reason that a man would want to pay for you out of a generosity based on wanting to share, because he doesn't know you. This is my opinion. This is how I would feel about it if I were a man. I can't speak for all men. I can't even really speak for men, but there are women who will use men in this way. I know women like this. I know men who've been used by women like this. These simps will come around and bring you dinner, hoping one day they will get sex from you. I know a man, when he was very successful as a Wall Street attorney, we would take these women out on expensive dates. The woman would always pick the lobster, the crab legs, the most expensive thing. And she would want every day to be a nice dinner. And while he could afford it, he felt used. Because it was like, she doesn't cook for me. She's using me for dinners. Ladies, that's some of you. You think that's okay, and maybe he's paying because he's a simp, or he thinks he should. He's not speaking up, but he doesn't want to. He doesn't want to. Because why would he want to? Wake up, ladies. Why would he want to? It's an entitled mentality on the part of a woman. And some of you, some of these ladies, maybe not some of you, want an entitled, inauthentic relationship that's transactional, where the man pays and you're giving him sex. But then I think it would be better to be straight up and just be a hooker. By the way, just from my experience, from friends that I've talked to who are escorts, men do not pay for dinner dates. They pay for sex. Maybe dinner is a part of the sexual evening, but men do not pay for your company for dinner. I was a sex worker for many years, and I've talked to other sex workers, and the men are very generous and very sweet, but they're not going to pay to take you to dinner. So a man paying for your dinner is simping, or he wants to fuck you. That's the truth of it. If I were a man, I wouldn't even want to pay the $5 for the coffee. I have gone on dates with men where I paid for the coffee just because I felt powerful and I wanted to surprise them. I'm not a person who uses men. I don't want to use people. I want people to do things for me because they want to. And when someone really, when I'm being genuine and I'm being intimate and I'm bonding with someone, it's natural that they want to do things for me, and I want to do things for you, and that's authentic. But when these women go around saying, I'm not even going to drive to a date unless he's paying, you're going to end up with one of these men that I'm talking about, the simp or the F-boy. That's what I think. And in this day of the social media and people being on their phones, people have become very entitled. There is no Prince Charming out there who's going to save you from yourself, pay for you, fuck you really good, and make your life perfect. There is no such thing. We have to be adults. The world has changed. So unless you're the housewife, taking care of his children, cooking his dinner, washing his clothes, cleaning his house, and fucking him, why would he pay for your food, your shelter? Why? What is his motive? What are you giving him? I'm going to say that historically men have traded sex for money. Men have historically traded resources, their resources, for a woman's resources. They want our feminine energy, they want our motherly energy, our homemaking energy, and we want their strength and their provisioning, and it's been an exchange. But modern women are expecting men to give their resources without them giving any resources. And that's called being entitled and not having healthy boundaries, and it's called offloading responsibility to someone else. The world is changing, and I think that our approach and our expectations have to change. What kind of relationship do I want? And I think it would be great to ask a guy on a date, hey, you know what? Historically, men have paid for dates. How do you feel about paying? How do you honestly feel about paying? Let's get intimate. And the man asked the woman, historically, men have paid and women have put out. How do you feel about putting out? How do you feel about being sexual with me? How do you actually feel about paying for me knowing I'm not giving you anything? I'm not going to cook for you because I don't want you coming over. I'm not going to give you sex. My company is worth paying for. Well, now you're a hooker. But not even a very good hooker, because a good hooker at least fucks her clients. Actually, I'm going to take that back. Because there is no man that's going to pay for dates and expect nothing in return. He's going to want something. Even if you're not giving it to him, he's going to want the sex, and he's going to be resentful the longer he has to wait to get it. You know, I learned something. There was a friend that broke up with me recently, and it turned out she had a lot of resentments against me, which she didn't share. She got triggered about things I had no idea that triggered her. I mean, people get triggered about all kinds of things, and I know my ex-husband had a lot of resentments against me, which he never shared. And a big mistake that I have made in my life is taking people at their word. I believe what people tell me. So when people tell me something, I believe them. Even part of me wanted to believe Amber H. on the stand because she said it. And when people don't say something, I think there's nothing in the space. So if someone doesn't tell me they're mad, I don't know that they're mad unless they're like giving me the silent treatment or withdrawing. If they don't change their behavior and they don't tell me, I don't know that they're mad, but they're mad. And so when a guy's paying for you and he's resentful and you don't know and he's not telling you, what's that like to hear that? Because they're going to be resentful. I believe they're going to be resentful if they don't know you. And you may not even know it. Because a man has to work freaking hard for his money. That's a value. That's why we don't want to pay for them. We don't want to share our money. It's not because women don't want to share their money. We share it with our children all the time, with our friends. Because it's a resource that we're guarding. I think a lot of women have become too entitled around men's money, and men have become too entitled around women's sexuality. And it's time that we have more empathy, in my opinion, and to be intimate, to really ask people, what do you really want? Can you just enjoy your company and my company without you paying and without me opening my legs? Do we even like each other? Do we even like each other? That's what I think is really important to discover in early dating. And what kind of relationship do I want? What kind of role do I want? What kind of life do we want to build together? Now, if you're just doing like a friends with benefits or hookup, the guy should definitely pay. But he shouldn't just pay for a coffee or dinner. Girl, he should be paying you at least $300 to $500 an hour for that kind of intimacy. If all he's giving you is dinner and you're going back with him, you got screwed. And not in a good way. So are you looking for a transaction? Are you a relationship? Are you looking for, you're trying to use people? Do you want intimacy? What are you really wanting? And what are you giving? This is my second video on this topic. I'm going to leave the first one up because I'm just like really all about this topic because I was married 25 years to a guy who provided for me, and it was nice. Don't get me wrong, it was really nice. But he resented the hell out of it. And I believe that's one of the reasons he resented me so much. He didn't like being the provider. And a lot of men don't. A lot of men don't. There's some that do, there's some that don't. But in early dating, when he doesn't even know you, I don't see any man that would want to pay unless he's simping or looking for sex. And it's not coming from his heart or his generosity. It's not. It's obligatory or transactional. He wants something. And when he's simping, he wants something. He wants sex from you. He's not just paying because this is okay. If a man knows you will never have sex with him, he won't pay for your dates. No way. Wait, unless he's a simp and he just needs your validation. But girl, you're going to get tired of a guy like that. No confidence, simping guys are repulsive. I get grossed out. I can't. But when they're angling for sex, they get very charming. They pay for your dinner. They're very charming. They've got this mask on. Oh, they're paying. I fell for a guy like that a couple years ago. He was so charming. He took me to a nice restaurant and paid for dinner. And then he turned into this texter boy. I don't know. It wasn't authentic. He was not authentic. I tell you what, my sons are very authentic and relational. And they told me, Mom, since high school, girls have always paid their own way. They grew up in like a very middle class, upper middle class suburb, where the moms were mostly stay-at-home moms who'd stopped their careers, and the women were all planning on going to college. So there was all empowerment, female empowerment, and kind of getting away from the old roles where the women would pay and the men would pay. And I see my sons in their relationships. They don't use women at all. They're very generous, very empathetic. However, they've gone away from those old roles of the man pays and the woman stays home. When the woman is working too, she often likes to pay. It's like the girl who likes playing in the sandbox and running and doing hill runs and trail runs. When I was married and I was dating, I like to pay. I want to pay also. Or cook for you. I also want to do things for you. That's a natural state for a woman also. We want to buy you gifts, buy you special things when we like you. We're not just taking. This is my second video on this topic. I may make more. I don't know. Thank you for watching.